things to talk to you about first. We do have simultaneous interpretation if anybody wants it. Just use the apps there. Please, when you ask a question, put your hand up. One question per person, please. Introduce yourself, and then we'll go with that. Please, if you could stay sat down for the whole press conference, so as not to affect the camera shots, please. Okay, if you want to start. Kaveh, Sky Sports.
So it's Kaveh Solokol, Sky Sports News. Gareth, after the last game, you said that you felt your team wasn't functioning and it was your responsibility to find solutions. Have you had time to do that, and are you expecting an improved performance tomorrow night?
Yes, we have had time on the training pitch and plenty of discussions with the players. Obviously, whatever I say is fairly irrelevant. We have to go and produce it on the pitch. So we're very clear on where we need to be better. We haven't hidden from that. I think we have a very open dialogue, players, staff, and we're all on the same page on that. So the route forward was pretty simple to highlight. Of course, then we've got to go and deliver it. And I'm expecting that we will do that tomorrow.
Front row here, please, Niv.
Hi, question for Declan Rice, please. Neil Devrat, Sport 1 Israel. Good to see you. During the Premier League season with Arsenal, your first season there, Mikel Arteta, your manager, moved you slightly a bit more further forward, and we saw the outcome. You had protection with Jorginho, etc. Do you think with England as well that is something that could help you and the midfielder area as well to help to get the best out of you?
Well, I only actually moved into the 8 position after Christmas. I played my first 6-7 months as a number 6 under Mikel. And my first ever discussions with him were for me to go to Arsenal and play as a number 6. That's where he sees me as my best position. But I think as we started to train more, play more, he liked me in the 8 role as well. It also gave us a little bit more balance when Georgie played. So look, I can play both. I'm happy to play 8. I'm happy to play 6. You know, for England, the majority, I've always played number 6, and I've loved every single minute of it. But obviously, it's the manager's decision. Whatever he sees, you know, I'll always go out there and give 100% no matter what.
This question here.
Question to Declan Ronaldo in Israel today. Without any disrespect, Slovenia don't have any Premier League players and very few Champions League players.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to play good players who you don't know, really?
I've watched Slovenia, their first 2 group games, and they've actually been really, really good. A lot of strong players, really fast. Obviously, the main talking point, Sesko, the boy who plays up front, he's been a massive target for clubs around Europe. Tomorrow's going to be really tough. You know, when you play teams like Slovenia, you know what you're going to get. They're going to come at us. They're going to want to win the game. They're going to want to shock the world. And tomorrow's a chance for us as a group to bounce back from the other night. And I think that's the beauty of football, that you always get another chance to go again. And, you know, tomorrow night we have that chance to put the last 2 games behind us and move forward in a positive way, which is really good.
Carrie from beIN Sport there, please.
A question to Gareth and to Declan. Both your captain and Declan have come out fighting for their teammates under criticism and to back you, Gareth. We've watched Scotland go home after in opening matches fail to get, they said themselves, to their best level. How much is a warning to you all as you go out into this next match and then into the knockout stage to leave it all out there on the pitch? And how is the mood in the camp now?
The mood's very good. I think we know that the world we live in, there'll always be external noise, but external noise shouldn't affect us. What's important is the internal. We're the only ones that can perform on the pitch. We're the only ones that can work together to get those performances better. And performance is what we're focusing on. The results have basically pretty much put us in the next round already, and it's now about can we win the group. But of course, we want to hit a different level to the level that we've hit so far. the lead into this wasn't straightforward into the prep camps, into the first 2 games. So there are some mitigating factors, but we're not hiding from anything, and we're not making any excuses at all. That's not the culture we have as a group. So there's been very honest appraisal of what we've done, and very clear on where we need to be better and how we're going to do that for tomorrow, which tactically is a different game anyway. But there are some fundamentals of how we've played over a long period of time that we need to get back to.
Gentleman in the blue shirt here, just please. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think what Gareth just said. I think as a group, obviously now Gareth's got his leadership group. We've had great internal discussions. I think that's such a good thing that Gareth has with the group, is that we're all so open and so honest. And if something's not right on the football pitch, we'll review it, we'll go over it, and we'll be better for it. And I was thinking back to it earlier. I think I said it to the writers. That this tournament's gone very similar in a way to the previous 2 tournaments I've played in, where we won our first 2 group games at the World Cup and the Euro 21. We then didn't have the best performances against Scotland and USA, but then we bounced back with a really positive performance against Wales at the World Cup and then Czech Republic at Wembley. So tomorrow night, we're really ready. We want to top the group. We want to have 7 points. And it's a chance to start looking forward in a positive way.
Hello, Gazzetta in Italy. Question for Declan. There have been a lot of talks about midfield and the way you guys have been playing. I'm curious about what have you seen from the pitch about your midfield?
I've seen players that want to take the ball, want to be positive. I've seen players that have given everything, even though it hasn't gone the way we've wanted to so far. I think that's a non-negotiable when you put on an England shirt. Of course, we want to dominate the game more. But as I was saying to Gareth earlier, you're coming up against world-class players now all the time. I think a lot of people think because we're England, you should go out there and win games 4-5-0. And the reality of it is, you play a Denmark team that got to the semi-finals of the Euros 2-3 years ago with some top players. You play a Serbia team who've got top Champions League, Premier League players. So look, it's about getting that balance of what we want. And I know as a group, I know individually, we can get better. And I'm sure we will as the tournament keeps going on.
Gentleman in the white shirt who had his hand up before, please.
Hello, this is Eric from Norwegian NRK. Question to Gareth about the. I can see that you and some players are using this. I think it's called an Aura ring. So I was wondering, what is the reason why you're using it, and is it something you encourage your players to use? I don't think Declan is using it, but
I lost mine.
Yeah. But Stones called it addictive. So yeah. But you got yours, maybe.
Yeah, we just. I think it. Well, the idea is it helps monitor your sleep, which is the biggest factor in terms of recovery. So no matter what things are invented in the world, the best things to aid recovery are sleep and nutrition. So we're trying to keep... we're not checking on the players, but it allows them to monitor their own recovery. And as staff, we know, for example, getting home from the game the other night, very late night, it might encourage you to go to have a sleep in the afternoon or recover a little bit more or spend some time just relaxing a bit more. So we're trying to manage people's energy through the tournament because, of course, the players have a heavy schedule, but when we get home at 4 o'clock in the morning, then the kit man has to go and wash the kit still at 6 or 7 the next day. The analysts are reviewing the game from the night before and the next opponent immediately. The rest of our staff are all working hard, so they also need to look after themselves, and that's something we take very importantly.
Frida Fagerlund, Sweden. Question for Gareth. Looking at the 2 first rounds of the group stage, you conceded the lowest expected goals, which obviously means that your opponents haven't really had a clear chance. Would you say that shows that parts of your play have actually worked pretty well?
Yeah, I think that the game before the tournament against Iceland, we were a little bit open, and we had players in the back line that hadn't had much football coming into the tournament, so we were trying to find the right balance of being aggressive, which is the way we started against Serbia, but then we also knew that against the teams that we've been playing against, you have to be perfect defensively to keep clean sheets, and it's an important part of tournaments, especially in the qualification group. You've got to defend well. So, although we haven't used the ball as well as we'd have liked, our penalty box defending has been good. What we'd like to do is turn more balls over higher up the pitch, and I guess that's one of the things we've been focusing on over the last few days. So, defending there's many different aspects to that, but without a doubt, the defending of our goal and of our penalty box has been first class.
James Robson, Associated Press. For Gareth, could I have your reaction to Gary Lineker's comments? And also, you've obviously been criticised, faced criticism throughout your career, but this felt a little bit different. Is that maybe a danger of such prominent figures having their own channels?
I haven't heard what he said. You can. I mean, Faye in the interview used one word. That's all I've heard.
But so, a prominent figure like that, criticising the England team like that seems unusual. That's not what you've had to face before.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. Look, that's the world we're in. I'm oblivious to it. It's not important to me at all. As I said, what's important to me is that I've got to guide this group of players confidently through the terrain that is the tournament. We're a high-profile team with expectations, and we fully understand everything we do is going to be scrutinised. So I'm very comfortable living that life, and but I don't need to engage in external because I'm my own biggest critic, and I think our players are as well. So there's nothing to be gained from us that's going to help improve us listening to external criticism. We know what we've done well. We're very honest about that. We know where we need to be better. We're brutally honest about that. And that's how you work as a team. That's how you coach a team. That's how you improve performance.
Henry.
Gareth, hi. Over here, Henry Winter, World Soccer. When England went out of Euro 2012, you were obviously in the studio with Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher in Warsaw, and you made the point that England looked physically drained and there were issues with possession. How much in 12 years have actually England moved on? Are there still issues endemic in the game? Because you made the point there's so many good foreign players in those positions in the game. Is that still an issue? Thank you.
No, I think we've had different cycles with this team and different moments with this team. So I don't think the performances over the last two matches, other than the first half an hour against Serbia, have reflected the way that we've played over the last couple of years. So we've had a short period here where we're not quite functioning at the level that we want to, and that's been a brilliant challenge to unpick that, to find the best way forward, to be honest about where we sat 3 or 4 days ago, but also be really clear on the path forward from that, and the steps to improve performance.
Hi, Gareth. James Ollie from ESPN. In that debrief and the work that you've done looking back and looking forward, are we likely to see something different tomorrow, either tactically or in terms of personnel, or is it a case of doing what you've already tried better? Well, I'm clearly not going to go into detail on either of those things when the opposition are listening. So in the end, our performance will have to speak for itself. I can stand here and sit here and talk as much as I like, but it's irrelevant until we go on the pitch and perform. So, of course, it's important to answer the questions as thoroughly as I can, but ultimately I'm going to be judged on the way the team play, and I understand that, and I'm comfortable with that.
Hey Gareth, Uri Levy, Israel National Television. Before the tournament, England were tipped as main favourites to win this Euro, first for the country. 2 match days in, and seeing the way Spain and Portugal even are playing, and the way England are playing, do you still think, or you still believe, that meeting bigger teams further on, England still are the main favorite to win this Euro? And it's also a question for Declan, if you are willing to answer too.
Well, we've always known that we are one of the teams that could win the tournament, and we also knew that Spain, France, Germany, Portugal, you've only got to look at the squads and the quality of players. You look at Croatia, who have to win tonight to stay in the tournament. That's the level of this competition. It's incredibly high. So we haven't changed our objectives, what's possible. We know to do that, we've got to find a different level to what we've shown so far. But I'm expecting that we'll do that.
Knorring from TV4 Sweden. A question for Gareth. How will you make sure that you get the most out of a player like Phil Foden from now on? Do you consider playing him in a different role or position?
Well, Phil has played in a lot of different positions for us. I think he was as big a threat on goal as anybody for us the other day. We know we need to create more as a team. It isn't about one player, you know. This is often where we get drawn into the wrong discussions. This is about a team functioning, a team winning, a team having the right mentality, a team working together to get results. It's not about individuals. If it's about individuals, then you're not going to succeed. So our progress, our big nights, our exciting tournaments have been about a team. Yes, important players within that team, but the ethos of this group is about team.
We'll take Sky Italy. Felipe there, just at the back. Can I have the microphone, please?
Me?
Yeah.
Declan, I've heard recently that you were asking for love from the media, so the team can perform better, which makes sense. I've been to quite a few press conferences from different national teams, and in fact, some journalists in some countries do act like fans rather than journalists, and they give love unconditionally to the players. You perform in quite different media environment where journalists are more like journalists. So I would like to ask you, how would you like to see that balance? Would you like to have full support, or would you like to be criticized? How do you see that?
Yeah, look, I think the guys in here have probably been fair with what they've been saying, because we're the ones that ultimately go out there and have to perform and play well. First game we done that in spells. Second game we didn't do that quite as well. So the expectation of what people are going to say is obviously going to be negative. I did come out and defend, our front players, because naturally as players you read stuff. Naturally, as young players, stuff can play on your mind, and it's probably better to read a load of stuff that's way more positive than negative. Your players like your Phils, your Bakayos, your Judes. I always think that for me, even as a player, when I was captain at West Ham, even with me now at Arsenal, I like to encourage and tell people that they can be the best player on the pitch. What they do on the pitch and the qualities that they have can change games. And I feel like the more you feel that as a player and within yourself, the more confident you're going to be stepping out on the pitch. And I feel like you'll see that tomorrow night as well. As a group, I feel like we're going to be really confident and ready. And hopefully after that, we'll turn a page and things will start to look more positive.
Gareth, can I just ask you for an injury update? Do you have a fully fit squad now, and how close is Luke Shaw to getting some minutes?
Yeah, Luke's the only one that is not really available. He'll possibly change with the team tomorrow, but he's not quite ready to be involved in the game yet.
We'll take one final question from Sky Italy, please.
Gareth, Filippo Benicampi, Sky Italy. I'm trying to make you laugh on this huge criticism. We've got in Italy 59 million of people, and we say it's 59 million of coaches. How many coaches have you registered in your mind in the UK in the past few days?
Very nice. Yeah, look, as I said, I'm the great thing about being in this job for a long time is I've managed to realise how to manage myself in the best way. So a few years ago, I would have read things, I would have listened to things, and yeah, it would have saddened me, and it would have taken energy from me. Now I have to cut myself off from it. I can't put myself in that position because you lose focus and you lose what's important. So it gives me great perspective. It allows me to be, hopefully as I appear now with the team, they can see that in actual fact we're just thinking about how we improve things. We're composed in what we're trying to do. We never duck where we are as a team. I don't think anybody would have ever heard me say anything about any of our performances that was inaccurate or overly glossy. And we're determined to progress. So none of those things will change. And I also know that, you know, despite what our man in the front said, every other national coach is probably experiencing the same thing. You know, I've seen that with Didier. I've seen that with everybody else. That's the modern world. So it's not just the general media. It's all the other media outlets. It's social media. It's a different environment. But yeah, if you don't open yourself to it, then it can't affect you.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll leave it there. Thank you, Gareth and Declan. Cheers, Nick. You okay? Yeah, good.